We're now just hours away from presumptive Democratic nominee Kamala Harris announcing her choice for a running mate. And today, CBS News has learned at least 3 of the contenders, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, and Arizona Senator Mark Kelly are traveling here to Washington to meet with the vice president in person. And as she holds those meetings, we're getting a fresh look at the state of the race nationwide. A new CBS News poll shows Harris has something President Biden never enjoyed this year, a slight edge over Donald Trump. And across the battleground states, the 2 candidates are tied, 50-50. All in all, an essentially even race. For more, let's go to our Executive Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto. Good to see you. Happy Sunday. Out on the road this week talking to Democratic voters, there was a sense of increased enthusiasm, excitement, a sense that they might actually be able to win this thing now. Is the polling reflecting that?
Good morning, Ed. And the short answer is yes. Let me remind everybody, this is a shift because Joe Biden, when he was the nominee, was down 5 points nationally to Donald Trump. So what's behind this is really interesting because you see more Democrats now say not only are they excited about Harris as the nominee, but that they're going to vote. And that'll make your poll numbers go up. In fact, if you look at our estimates across each and every one of the battleground states, from Pennsylvania to Michigan, down south, Georgia, Arizona, and others, they're all even or close. And that is your reset race. You see core Democratic constituencies saying they're going to vote. Specifically, black voters are enthusiastic. Their numbers of saying they're going to vote are up from July. And I want to talk about the women's vote, because not only does Harris do better than Biden was doing, but women tell us they think that Harris would look out for the interests of women much more so than Donald Trump. So it's not just the demographic break. That's the rationale behind it, Ed.
And they were the ones that seemed most excited, women. But bottom line, what you're saying is that over 2 weeks, she's brought the race back to even, in essence.
Yep, big reset.
Now, she'd make history as the first black woman to be nominated by the Democratic Party, potentially the first black woman to win the presidency. Does the polling suggest the country's ready for that?
So when people assess the state of the country, that answer is yes. And I'll give you some historical context. There's an old CBS polling question, goes back 25 years, which was America ready to elect a black president? By around the year 2000, that number was low. It changed when Barack Obama was running, and it went to a majority saying yes. And now you ask a similar question, is America ready to elect a black woman president? And you get over 2/3, including people who aren't voting for her. That's the state of the country. But what's also interesting, Ed, is the way the script is flipped a little on some of these campaign dynamics, like who has the mental and cognitive health to serve as president? That was something obviously Joe Biden was trailing on before he left the race. Now it's Harris who's seen as having more of that. And she's also closer to Trump on key views like being competent, being effective, more so than Joe Biden was, which all in all goes back to that idea of Democratic excitement, like they think they've got a better candidate to take on Trump.
And explains part of why they've been attacking Trump and calling him weird and raising questions about his age as well, because they must be seeing that as well. Now, the race to define Harris is underway. They're spending tens of millions of dollars in her campaign to play up the fact that she was a prosecutor and has worked with the president on various issues. The former president calling her a San Francisco liberal and doing other things. But on the issues also, does he still enjoy an advantage over Harris, now the Democrat, on the big issues of concern to voters?
So that's really important because some things in this race have not changed. The idea that you would be better off financially if Trump were elected, Trump still has a big advantage over now Kamala Harris on that. And the idea that his policies would slow or decrease the number of migrants trying to cross the border, that he still has an edge on. But to your point about defining Harris, well, there's a larger number who say they think her policies are similar, mostly the same, but not entirely the same as Joe Biden's. So it's that little bit of difference defining what that is that I do think is going to be key to watch in the campaign in the next few weeks.
Anthony Salvanto is our Executive Director of Elections and Surveys. We'll talk more about it later in the broadcast. Thanks for now.
Thank you.